Hello everyone, this is Agnes Berengari. This is kind of episode 3.2 because I mentioned in episode 3 that we had, when we were doing our chain stitch, there were actually two versions. There's this older version, which is from the 14th, or goes back as far as the 4th, 5th century BC, Persia. But there's another one that we know was used later in our medieval period. Alrighty, so we did the first one, and that was great. And we were like, woohoo, going looping around and going back in and going back through. Well, since I still have a little bit on this line, that because I started in the middle of the line and now I have this here, I figured this would be an awesome time to show you the other way of doing this. And I know some of you may be going, you're showing the other way? So I'm gonna do my, wait a minute, do I have the right side? You always want to work your thread from the same side, okay? I know some of you may be sitting there going, from the same side, why? Because thread has a nap. And if you don't do it all from the same side, it could cause color variations in your, especially when the sun hits your threads. Okay, this one, I'll grab that. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to put that over there for now. And since I have two here, I can separate these. Why do I want to separate my threads, other than have my threads separate? Go down to 2 instead of 6 strands, is because you separate your threads so that you get ultimate fullness. So I fold my thread over my fingers or over my needle with the hole facing me. Okay, see the hole right there? Yeah, with the eye of the needle facing me. I folded it over, and I'm going to repeat that as many times as I need to so that you can see what's going on. Okay, so I fold it over. I'm going to pinch, see, I pinch you. Pinch the thread down. Turn the needle just ever so slightly so it faces the thread, and slide it down between my fingers. And if all goes well, this one got a little crunchy, or a little munchy, not crunchy, munchy. Then it should be fairly easy to get. My cousin is dinging me. I've got to learn how to turn off those notifications. I am going to do my away waist knot. So I'm going to go. Here's how I do them. I grab my threads, make sure they're relatively even. You want them relatively even at the bottom. I hold them between 2 fingers. I wrap a few times, and then I pull while I hold them together. Okay, so there's my little knot that I'm going to use for an away waist knot. Okay, now back to the really fun part, stitching. Okay, so putting the stitch right where I'm going. Now, if I was starting this, I would do like a little running, a single running stitch. Just go up and down. And then come back to about about a stitch away. Or about this is about approximately 1/16 to 1/8 inch from the one in front. And I'm going to put this is called a reverse chain stitch, and means that I am reversing the chain stitch, right? Of course, right. I'm going the opposite direction that I had gone before. I go through the tail of the previous chain, and I bring it back, and I go in. And being a little, I go in, I come back up, and I made sure to catch my away, my little tail of my thread. And you can see you're doing the opposite way. You're doing the opposite of what you were doing earlier. Okay. So instead of bringing you're going away from your chain instead of going forward on your chain. And you can, don't do it too tight. You want to have kind of a little bit of a looping in your and oh boy, one thing about chain stitch, it will give you some twisting, so you gotta hang your thread and let it twist, or do it on the bottom. Some people like to do it on the bottom, so always be aware of that. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't want to end up with a issue later based on and go through. Okay, and this is a good stitch that also can be a base for your if you're doing stump work. It's a nice base for things like detached buttonhole and such. So just be aware of that. It does come as a base. Okay, so that's, and to finish this one, you basically would finish it the same way you started. Or actually what you would do is you would turn it over and do your little weaving. And so you can see, here's where we started. But you do your little weaving like that. Okay, it's a little bit tighter stitch than the other. I'm cutting that out right there because I can. So this one is done. So have a good day.